rápido. Empezamos.
Vámonos.
Pregunta, ¿español o inglés?
Spanglish.
Spanglish. Ah, ok, perfect.
Chino también, si quieres.
Ok, let's do it then.
Vamos en chino, lo que quieras.
Muchísimas gracias, muy buenos días. Nos encontramos una vez más aquí en los micrófonos de Entre Amigos con nuestro buen amigo Alex Assam de P1 Home Loans.
¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Buenos días. Gracias por estar acá.
Gracias, gracias. Y le damos una cordial bienvenida to two of very experienced colleagues, one in commercial real estate, Elite Tello. Gracias por compartir los micrófonos el día de hoy y el video también. Y nuestro buen amigo también, Raúl Marquina, Luxury Real Estate, and we were also talking about investment in real estate and fix and flips.
Correct.
Thank you both for joining us today. I really appreciate Alex and I your participation with us, and hope you can share some of the knowledge and experience that you have in commercial, in high-end real estate as well. Alex, what do you have for today? What are the interest rates are doing?
He puts me on the spot right
Of
away.
course.
What do I have for today?
What do you have
I was actually thinking, we have, there's so many topics that we want to touch on with this guest today.
Yeah, I know.
So I'm
yes.
like, where do I
Thank
start?
You.
And let's start with, I'm going to start with commercial.
Yes.
Let's talk about commercial because there is a lot of confusion out there. Well, there's not a lot of confusion. A lot of times when you're a business entrepreneur and you want to start a practice or you want to start a business, one of the most important aspects or one of the first things that comes to mind is how do I open or how do I buy my first building or how do I buy my first location, right?
How do I expand?
Yeah, so and a lot of times you don't want to ask the right person, or you're researching on the internet and you get a lot of bad information out there. So you actually choose the wrong thing to do, which is going out there and get a lease for 5 years or 7 years. And that's like renting a home, right? It's never a good idea.
To go by yourself.
No, not by yourself. It's renting and pay somebody else's investment.
Correct.
When you can actually, buy your own spot. I know there is some information out there about small business loans, and but what happens when? I guess I'll ask you this, Elite. What happens when you have that one opportunity for somebody to go SBA, and for whatever reason they don't get approved? What options do they have, and what would you recommend them to do? What's your thoughts on that?
And as far as the loan
As far as
goes,
the loans.
they can even go conventional. Many
Right.
times, a lot of clients think that they only have the option to go SBA, and that is
Correct.
not the case. There's conventional, there's private lenders out there, there's many, many banks that can help you.
Yep.
And there's so many options that they have. As far
No,
as
with the
loans.
private lenders, the problem is, or not the problem, but the stigma is, well, now I have to put 40% down. Now I have to put 50% down. And we're talking about a building that is $4 or $5 million. That's a good chunk of money, especially when you start your business, right?
Yes.
So what do you say to those? We won't go with the big businesses, but let's start with some of them that are in our community, in the Hispanic community, and want to start there, whether it be a llantera, whether it be a small liquor store, or whatever. What would you recommend them to do? What would be the first 2-3 steps?
First of all, I would ask, right away, how many years have you been established? Do you just want to start a business, or
Yep.
do you already have an established business? Because a lot of business, especially in the Hispanic community, started off from home or start from a lease,
Correct.
from renting first. And we do it as well. Commercial realtors also help you. Never, like Alonso just mentioned right now, never go alone.
Right.
Never go alone.
We were
because
just talking about that.
Yes, we
Yes.
were just talking about that, of how bad
Yes.
it is that they get into a contract, 3-5 year contract, sometimes even 10-year contract, and then they come to us, to a commercial real estate agent, and they say, hey, can you help me get out of this, because
Yes.
I'm trying to get out and I'm in a contract where they
Yes.
sign pretty much a lot of things that they don't know what they're signing.
Is it
So
pretty common?
It is
Just
pretty common.
at least 7, 8, 10 years?
10 years?
Well, here's the caveat for that. When you go represented by a real estate agent, they don't want to exceed 5 years.
They do not.
They do not. Okay.
Okay.
But when they go by themselves, they'll force them or compromise them for between 5 to 10 years.
So slightly
Okay.
like predatory.
Yeah.
And the reason
Yeah.
for that is because, and I mean, I'm going to talk about a topic. in terms of the commission side of it, in real estate, we get paid on the term of the lease.
Gotcha.
Okay, so the shorter the lease, the less commission they pay.
Exactly.
Okay, so they'll try to negotiate on those terms when you go unrepresented. Okay, but when you go represented, they'll try to short it as possible and negotiate. So that becomes a negotiation term. Okay, and exactly like Elita is saying, you need someone who can actually guide you in terms of what is the lease. We were just talking about the contracts with AI.
Well, you know, that's one thing that me personally,
Yes.
like I go to places like Kirtland, right, and other shopping centers. And maybe you guys can tell me this. You go and see a business that just opens, right, and you don't see anybody there, right? It's like, how do they make money?
How do they make money?
How do they make money?
Right.
And a year goes by, 2 years go by, and then boom, they close it. Now it's a completely different business. And
Yes.
then a year goes by. Is this all subleasing that you see in these shopping centers, or?
I mean, it depends. Sometimes we do see a lot of subleasing, but not necessarily. It just, you know, I wouldn't know what to say on why
Yeah.
they keep changing, you know,
Yeah.
but a lot of, like I said, a lot of businesses, they do 1-3 years if they are barely starting
Sure.
and they don't know if their company is really going to work out at
Right.
first. They go for a shorter term. But that's like I said, that's why it's so important to always hire commercial real estate. There's a lot of due diligence in there.
Yes.
There's grace periods that a lot of clients do not understand. Because
Yep.
unfortunately, there's a lot of terms in a contract that, you know, normal people that are not professionals will not understand.
Right. Me personally, I'm not big in contracts when it comes down to leasing offices and stuff. I just feel like it's always a big commitment, right? But for a lot of other people, a lot of other business people, like the restaurants, they do want to get a longer lease just in case, right? The business does well.
Correct.
They want to secure.
That's why
good-
you want to have a commercial real estate agent on your side.
That's right.
And same as it goes, Raul, with fix and flips or with investment properties. Elaborate a little bit more on that, because it's a different transaction. It's different from your regular retail transaction in terms of buying a house. Now I think that the sentiment goes away when you're doing an investment or a fix and flip property. Not only that,
As far
but
as like the emotion
type of it,
project? Yeah.
yes. And now also, you're not only considering the investment part of it, but also the return on investment.
Right.
So
I think that's the biggest piece there, especially now in this market we're in, where I feel like the wholesale market is changing so much. It's I feel it's in a correction.
Okay.
So I see when I look at the last few wholesale deals that I have seen, they haven't actually been, you know, good deals for an investor. They were
Okay.
I would say they were more like corrections for a buyer. You know, there's no room left.
You said it
in-
perfectly, my
there-
friend. It's a
there's no-
correction.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That
there's
is a
no room
correction.
in there
Yep,
for an investor in a
absolutely.
lot of these deals. I've had to pass on multiple deals in the last, you know, couple of months here, and it's frustrating
Right.
because I'm going through and I think, oh yeah, I got me a good one here. Let me go look at
Yep.
it. Then I start looking at the comps and start looking at all, you know, just my holding fees and what it's going to cost me to get it, and then bigger now is the carry aspect, right? I think you got to be for sure willing to hold this property for 90 days.
Yes,
minimum.
At least.
Minimum. And during the
Yes.
correction, what I feel is the scary part is, you know, you say you buy this property for $500K expecting a certain appreciation, and you put in 100 or 200K in this property, and the market's correcting down, and the wholesale market
Yes.
doesn't have the space in it for me to like have
Well,
a
you said something very important. Expecting appreciation. What is expecting appreciation right now? There is none.
There's none. There's
right.
none.
I was
And-
having this conversation with
Yeah.
a friend of mine yesterday that is looking into buying a house and at a decent deal, I think. But you got to take the equation of appreciation out of the picture right now.
Yes.
So if you think right now the house is worth $1 million, if
it
you
could
get
be
it for
worth
7,
800 in the
that's
next
right.
2
So
years.
if
Yeah.
anything, you got to think on 10% correction or
Right.
15% correction. Now, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, we always think if you're going to buy a property wholesale, you got to be at 70%
Right.
of the retail, right? isn't it still 70% in your opinion?
I think that's that's the bare minimum you want to be at, and I think you'd be hard pressed to
Assuming
even
that
get
you
to
have
that.
a real estate
Yeah.
agent, assuming that you're gonna be.
I think you'd be hard to even get to that 70.
Yes.
You know, the ones that I've been seeing are probably like, you know, they're
80,
they're-
85.
yeah, 85, 90, you know, and there's just no room in them.
So if I were to
make
ask,
a
what would
profit.
be your favorite area right now to get a wholesale deal? Where would it be? Top two.
Interesting question.
I think it's always
I
going to
know.
be in the, like, for me, in the luxury markets.
Yeah.
You know, because there you pretty much are going to have appreciation, right? Your up and coming areas, Arcadia, PV, Scottsdale, North
Yeah.
Valley, you know, because you can see the appreciation from neighborhood to neighborhood.
Right,
You know, so
right.
you got to be very discerning when you're going through these neighborhoods now. You know, you just can't buy something in the Encanto area
Right.
and expect
Expecting.
it to take the value of like Palmcroft or, you know, Encanto proper.
Right.
You know, you cross the street, you know,
Correct.
you've probably lost 300K
Oof.
just being across the street.
Oof.
But then there's slight enclaves within there, you know, because that's what I feel like Phoenix is a series of submarkets within submarkets.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
And I had a conversation with somebody not too long ago, and I said, they were from out of town, and I said, this is what you don't understand. I said, Phoenix is almost half block to half block, especially when you get into like Phoenix proper or toward the western sides of it, you know, 19th Avenue and west. You know, now we're looking at specific niche properties,
That's
you know,
right.
acreages or, you know, whatever it is.
So it's not really an area. It
No, it's
depends
like-
It
on the block.
depends.
It's a
Which is your favorite block?
yeah, right. Yeah.
Yes. And that's where we come with the lower Arcadia.
Right.
The
And I love
lower
that area.
billboard.
I love
yeah,
that.
lower, because we're taking in consideration, and it's a difference just being on the north side of the street or being on the south
32nd
side.
Street in Indian School,
Yes.
right? You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you're right
You know,
there.
now we're pretty close to. I mean, we've seen sales in that area for 2.3, 2.4,
Yes.
and the neighborhood is ripe for the remodels. You know,
Very
so
true.
you've got an old neighborhood with maybe 4 or 5 like beautiful,
Yes.
brand new properties, and then all originals. You know, so those are the areas that I'm looking to
What
get
about
into.
the Metro Phoenix? What do you think is making it so compelling for a lot of people these days?
I think that we got a lot of good growth going on.
Right.
You know, and I think that's what draws me to the metro is
Yeah.
like, you know, you got your amenities, you got your restaurants, and you got your, you know, your sporting events and things
Sure.
like that, and proximity to airport.
That's right.
You know, so that's what draws
But you also
me
get a
to
lot
it.
of people walking away right now from condominiums that are in the midst of being built because the HOAs are so expensive,
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yes.
So that's a big problem right now.
I see that a lot. There's a lot of properties that I want to go buy myself, and then,
Yes.
then I look
But
at it. I
then-
was like,
yeah,
oh, this
now
HOA fee is going to go up
exactly.
every year.
Correct.
You know,
No,
so-
Yeah,
it's
that's a
nasty.
killing.
Yeah.
Nasty. So
We
what
spoke
do you
about
think
that.
they're going to be doing about that? Because obviously an issue.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I think
It is what it is. You
Yeah.
pay
Suck it up, buddy.
Suck it up.
Yes.
You pay it. All right.
But then
Okay.
it comes to what you're saying is it's going to be a return on investment.
Yeah.
Okay, and I think we were talking about this the other day, Alex. When you pick a fix and flip, you have to account for that correction.
Yeah.
Okay, if you don't account for that correction right now, because as an investor, as a fix and flip person, then it's all about the numbers.
Right. Only
Okay.
the math.
So
It's
if
all
you
math.
focus
So
on
bad.
if you focus on the numbers, then then also consider the exit strategy. Okay, what's my first scenario on this transaction? Okay,
Right.
so the worst scenario from my perspective in evaluating all of these deals will be keeping the property, right?
Yes.
Hold the property and then it comes to a balance between your mortgage payment, okay, your carry on costs, and how much I can rent that property for.
Yeah. So numbers, but you got to be very, very
And the
careful.
rental market
Yes.
is tight right now.
Yes,
This-
the
this
rental
is,
market. Have you seen any adjustment, Elite, in terms of because we talk residential, okay, but have you seen any adjustment in leasing in the commercial side of it? Also, a correction on the leasing side of the commercial. Have you seen that?
No.
No, you
Honestly,
haven't.
No.
Okay.
Not at all. huh?
So yeah, so during COVID, that's when it was, everybody was working from home, commercial, kind of
Took a deep.
a deep dive.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and now it's
Well,
coming
retail
back.
space.
Coming back.
Well,
It was
everybody's
like,
calling their
Yeah.
workers
So that's-
back. Everybody wants their
that's where
workers in their
commercial
office
is
now.
so interesting.
Yeah.
Productivity needs
it's
to
very
be
interesting
higher.
that I get a lot of
Productivity.
clients that are looking for office space, and
Yes.
sometimes we can't find any, like honestly.
But
and
then you go to office spaces. Like I was at a title company yesterday visiting a friend, and there's nobody there. Like
Or working
it's
from
a
home.
4,000 square footage office, and there were 2 people in there. So and you get out there. One thing is what you see right in the trenches, right, and one thing is what
The
market
reality.
is driving,
Yeah,
right?
the market
So-
is driving.
It's coming back. It's coming back. People want an office space.
So you
Also-
do see it that
yeah,
way?
I do
I
see
think-
it
oh,
that
without
way.
a doubt.
People are.
Okay.
I think people are wanting to get back to some of like our previous
Life.
dealings. Yeah, like
Yeah.
we
Yes.
want to go and see. We want to talk to
Yes.
people.
This. We want
to
this.
touch
Yes.
people. You
Yeah.
know, it's like we're all tired of being put on hold and dealing with the AI
Yes.
operator.
And you know, when you
so
used to
face
call a
face.
credit
True.
card company and you get someone that's working from home and you hear all the noise
the-
in the background,
yeah.
I think we're
You
coming.
get that.
Yes.
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 Cell phone's the worst.
You hear the,
What's the mail?
yeah. You hear the kids in the background
Yes.
screaming,
Yeah.
the dogs barking. So I think we're going back to the normal ways, and I've been seeing an increase actually. And also for body shops and auto repair,
Yes.
those are the big ones right now. Auto repairs are very hard to find. Yes.
Auto repair shops.
Auto
Why?
repair
Because
shops.
inspections, the area.
Not just that, but a lot of people don't want to lease,
Okay.
or even when they sell, it's different. But when they want to lease, they don't want to lease to someone that auto repair. They take
Makes
a
a
lot
mess.
of parking space
Right.
also. The parking, if you have other tenants, they're going to complain about not being enough parking space.
Right,
So
right.
parking space is an issue, and also environmental.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I would think. The
Correct. Environmental is a big issue with the city. So
when
when you get a space that already has the city approval for environmental, it's a high demand
Right.
property.
right away.
Yes. So
Absolutely.
So anytime you see an auto repair, we see the auto repair for sale. That's to grab.
Y bueno, para la
I
gente
like
que
that.
también
Sí.
nos ve en español, hablas perfectamente bien
Perfectamente
el español
bien el
y
español, sí.
conoces el mercado
Así
hispano
es.
súper bien. Entonces, para aquellos amigos que nos están escuchando, te lo voy a decir en español, ya sé que lo dijiste en inglés, pero ¿qué le recomendarías a nuestra audiencia, a la gente que nos escucha, que está ahí en la lucha buscando cómo empezar su primer negocito, cómo empezarlo y comprar? Porque todo el mundo quiere comprar. El problema es no saben cuál es el enganche, no saben esa parte, ¿no? Que los confunde un poco.
Definitivamente lo primero que yo les recomiendo es contratar a un agente de bienes y raíces que se especialice en comercial. Porque,
Como tú.
Exactamente como yo. Porque no quieres llegar a un lugar que no esté representado, que abusen de los términos, que te hagan firmar un contrato, que no puedas negociar un precio, que no puedas hacer las inspecciones correctas para saber si el lugar vale lo que te lo están
Claro.
vendiendo principalmente. También el área, especialmente Phoenix, que estamos hablando, que está en crecimiento, que es un Phoenix ahorita es algo que se está yendo, los precios están subiendo, es un mercado que está creciendo, ¿no?
Sí.
Por decirlo así. Entonces tienes que asegurarte que un agente de bienes y raíces te ayude y te guíe bien para que tú sepas que estás poniendo tu dinerito que tanto te costó para poner ese negocio, que lo estés invirtiendo bien.
Así es, siempre es bueno buscar un profesional y la gente, no sé si es cultural, como hispano a veces uno le pelea
Sí.
al querer contratar a alguien y lo entiendo también, porque a mucha gente se le ha engañado, profesionales o no profesionales, y han abusado de la confianza de nuestro mercado. Entonces, hay cierta verdad en ello. Yo creo que lo mejor que tiene que hacer la gente es cuando vas a contratar a alguien, es buscar las referencias de la compañía, buscar las referencias de esta persona, ver con quién estás lidiando.
Exacto.
Porque también lo que acabas de comentar es como ir a la corte sin estar representado, por un abogado. Vas a que te van
A que te
a
crucifiquen.
que te
A
crucifiquen.
eso va uno.
Pero también tienes que buscar un buen abogado.
Oh, claro.
O sea, you also have to have a good professional who's going to be representing
to
you in a lot.
represent you in the deal.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
You know, you have bad attorneys, you have bad doctors, you have bad real estate agents, you have bad actors. So, yeah, you do have to look for the right person, interview them. And culturally, I was just mentioning to her, is that I think with the Hispanic market, we feel that just by going and meet a real estate agent or an attorney, you feel that you have to commit in the first meeting. When in reality, you should go and look for the best fit
But the best
for you.
option.
And I think
Yes.
the nice thing about too is people don't understand, right? You got to be upfront about that, right? Hey, I'm shopping.
Yeah,
You know, like
Yeah.
I'm looking.
I'm
Yeah.
looking,
You know,
yes.
I'm
Absolutely.
looking. Just want you to know.
I love that.
This is what I'm out here
100%.
doing. I think that's the good
wanna get an
respect
idea
to
of
give
what I
to
can do.
somebody, right?
Yes.
Like that way we all know we're trying to work together.
yeah.
Correct.
You know, if we can come
there's
together.
options out there.
Right, yeah.
Right.
And
And
I don't know what
also-
they are.
And also for the Hispanic community, and I'm going to say it in Spanish, muchas veces piensan que no, pues tengo que pagarle, cuando realmente el lado del vendedor es el lado que le pagan a uno que está representando al comprador.
Así es.
Entonces, otra cosa también que me gustaría decirlo, que se enteren, que sepa la comunidad hispana que no es así. Nos paga el lado del vendedor y siempre es importante tener a alguien. Tengo muchos clientes que a veces me dicen, no, pues yo estaba buscando un lugar para poner una llantera, una tortillería, un restaurante y fui directamente con el dueño del lugar y me lo vendió o me lo rentó. Y yo no los entiendo cómo, por ejemplo, vamos a poner un divorcio, como lo dije temprano, no te divorciarías con el mismo abogado que se va
Que está representando
a tu esposo, a tu ex
claro,
pareja.
claro.
Entonces, ocupas a alguien que te represente a ti para saber si te
Exactamente.
conviene ese contrato.
Correcto.
Entonces,
Y
eso es
escoger a la
súper-
persona correcta es
Claro.
importante. Yo tuve un abogado que se
Buen-
durmió. No,
Oh.
gracias a Dios, no mucho, no. Pero literalmente se quedó dormido en la corte, cabrón. Estábamos hablando con el juez y volteo y el amigo
Y
estaba
está
dormido.
dormido.
Wow.
Imagínate.
Virgen Santa, diría mi
Virgen
madre.
Santa, dijera exactamente. Pero bueno,
Oye,
yeah,
Alex,
you gotta make sure
you
pick
gotta
the
make
right
sure,
person.
y ahí te quiero felicitar por todos los reviews. Todos los reviews de P1
¿Por el
Home
abogado
Loans.
que se durmió?
Sí,
Ok.
por el abogado. No, P1 Home Loans
Thank you.
en los reviews que
Thank
tiene.
you.
Creo que llegaron a un gran
Sí,
récord,
110 por ahí
algo
andamos
así,
en
y te
five-star
felicito
reviews.
por eso.
Thank you.
Yes, so
Yeah, we make a lot of,
emphasize
getting
on that,
reviews,
right?
yes.
so important.
It's not easy to get reviews.
I agree.
Period.
Yes.
Bad reviews and good reviews.
Right.
Yes.
Because
You know?
once everybody's done with
Yeah,
you, they're
once
done
everybody
with you.
you're done
Yeah.
with the transaction, you're done. But I was at a signing yesterday. I'm old school. I still go to the signings. Because I see that as a huge opportunity to meet your clients.
Right.
Yeah, and to
And
meet
to make sure
real
that
estate
everything
agents,
is,
and to meet the title company, and it's just a huge opportunity. And instead of staying in your office, right? So this is a great time to ask them for reviews. And in these days, especially in our company that we do loans in California and Florida, Texas, Connecticut, we got to make sure that we have a lot of reviews because that's the first thing that people go and look, right?
Yes.
If you're in Texas or in Dallas or Houston or whatever, who's this guy calling me from Arizona? So
Right.
they go online. They want to make sure you have good reviews, and yeah, it makes a big difference.
It
But
counts.
thank you for
So
bringing that up.
congratulations.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
It's working out really good.
Thank you both. ¿Y dónde andamos en los tiempos?
En los tiempos andamos bien. I'm going to go back to. I like to talk a little bit more about the luxury market. One thing that I was reading about a week ago. So you have the houses of, the 1 million, 3 million between that, right?
Right.
They're not moving as fast as people would think, right? But then you got the 5 and above, and dude, where are these people coming from? They're buying them like it's.
I
that
kind of feel
one
like
you know what I
they're
mean?
totally
Normally it's
different
the other way
buyers.
around. You're like, oh, that's 7 million. It's never going to sell. Oh no, it's been in the market a week and it's sold.
And it
right?
seems like what a lot of these 4 million plus deals are a lot of cash deals.
Wow.
Yes.
Like where I think we're under 4, you're still looking for some kind of traditional
Jumbo
type
loan,
of
yeah.
financing.
Yes.
And I see over 4 million, these guys are just buying them.
Yeah, 5, 6, 7
you
million.
know?
Yeah.
So
I
they're
agree.
borrowing from themselves or from their company or whatever they're doing, and they're just buying this investment and paying themselves back.
Yep.
So that's where I see that segment of the market able to grow, right? We got California people coming here, New York. Everybody's fleeing their high income tax.
Where
and-
is
That's-
thank you for bringing that
yeah,
up. That's
exactly.
exactly what I was going to say. And you have Scottsdale last year was ranked number 1 where the most millionaires are moving from other places. Think about that for a second. I mean, the airport just in North Scottsdale, I live very close from there. And dude, the airport doesn't stop. I mean, the
Oh, I know,
skies
it's
is
constant.
like
big
constant.
planes too.
Big,
Yeah.
it's not small
Yeah.
planes anymore. No, it's just, huge
Yes.
planes now, that are coming there. I don't know where that's going to go. That's a completely different conversation. But
Yes.
Because that's going to be it's getting really busy, that airport. But with that being said, that just tells you of the amount of money that is moving into Phoenix, especially in Scottsdale area.
Yes.
But the growth in going back to the growth that she was just mentioning in Phoenix, I don't see that stopping anytime soon.
No, I don't see
You
it
know,
at all. We were
and it's just going to keep growing. Under residential, Alonso was just asking me about it yesterday. It's like, so where do you think this is going? I'm like, well, one of the places that I see growing like crazy is towards, east, like towards Arizona City.
right.
Right? People are
Whitman.
getting homes. Whitman.
Whitman is growing.
You can still buy a house for 250, 200,
right.
right? For the entry level families that can no longer afford or don't want to live in the metro, in the
Right.
center of Phoenix.
If you're willing to commute.
Which you're going to
You know,
have to.
That's the other. Yeah, that's
And
the
for
other
us
thing. The
Arizonans,
community.
right? We're not used to getting in our car for 2 hours.
We're not.
You know, so like
But-
for a California person,
Yes.
they don't mind driving 2 hours
Not
on,
at all.
on light traffic, right?
Right.
Yes,
know,
exactly.
Traffic.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
you know.
And that's where this is going. That we have built this city. That sounds like the song. We have this built
Built the city.
We have
Yeah.
built this city
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
not like a not like a LA per se, right? It's not at the end of the day. It's not that bad to get from one spot to the next. I mean,
No, it's
No, not
it's
yet.
very well
Not yet.
planned. To be quite
It's what-
honest,
yeah,
I mean,
right.
very well planned. The development that we have throughout old Maricopa County,
Yes.
Pinal, all the other.
Maricopa County, which
Yeah,
still
all
is the
of us.
biggest
Yes,
county
yes,
in
yes,
the
yes.
United States,
Correct.
I think is well planned, without a doubt.
It is.
Without a doubt.
Yes,
I mean, you
yes.
guys drive a lot.
Well, we're
You
brand
guys-
new, right? As far as
Aside from
cities
the
go.
10.
Correct.
You know, we
I-
probably matured in the
disagree.
70s.
Yes.
I'm Arizona born, Arizona raised,
Oh, you
and I
are?
hate the traffic. I'm
Yes.
like,
I
when
do
did it
too.
get this bad? When did it get this bad? Honestly, I say it every day.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, I
Okay.
hate traffic.
Well, because like I've been here
Just-
for
yeah, you're from
35
here.
years.
yeah, I was
but
born and
not
raised here,
born-
so for me, it's like
It's because
hell?
it's
Well,
because
you know,
you've seen
it
it
used to be
grow.
20 minutes
Yes.
anywhere in the valley.
anywhere.
I don't care where you lived. It used to be 20 minutes to get there.
Yes.
If you're going from Glendale to Gilbert, or it was 20
Wow.
minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, not anymore.
Plus,
Not
we used to
anymore.
drive 95.
No.
Well, you remember, like the 10, I was just telling the I-10. That is miserable.
That's
that
a nightmare.
part. Yeah,
and I
5
don't spend a
o'clock,
lot of
6
time
o'clock.
going out that way, but when I do have to go there, it is a
Or
reminder.
when I get clients in Gilbert, sometimes as well.
Oh, yeah.
Gilbert and Mesa is
Yes.
growing
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
Well, Mesa is, and I have to take a 2-hour drive sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, just to get there.
You got to plan just to
You gotta
spend most
plan
of the
Yes.
afternoon
the
there.
showings, you got to plan them
Correct.
Yeah.
correctly. Yeah.
It's coming to a point like, when I do business in LA, right? You have real estate agents that like to be working only in Orange County.
Right.
And I give them a lead in San Bernardino per se. They're like, no, that's not good. No, be for me. Like they work specific areas.
Yeah, because
Like
it's
the-
just too hard to
right.
get
Yeah,
over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it'll get
Eventually
there.
we will get there,
Yeah.
but in the meantime, I think it's worth driving.
We try to
Right.
drive anywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, right. Yeah.
I have
Yes.
a listing right
No.
now in Tucson that I don't mind. So
Exactly.
Is it a commercial? Let's bring it on.
it is a commercial.
Okay.
It is 2.7
Okay.
2.7 million. I already
What
have
type of commercial is it?
It is a strip.
Okay.
It has a building.
Okay.
And it's just many lots all put together, all 6 continuous lots. Continuous lots, and it has a building.
Okay.
And it's getting there's a casino, a brand new Casino del Sol being built right,
Close by.
really like 2 miles away.
Okay.
So it's really.
Is it
really
a
nice.
retail space?
It is a retail space.
Okay. Is it
yes.
currently bringing income?
It is. Yes.
Okay, so it has a cap rate for those people interested. What is it? 2 point what?
2.7.
2.7
sale.
listing property in Tucson with a cap rate. It's generating income. Please contact Elite.
please
Okay, in
contact me.
Tucson,
That's a
Arizona.
fact. Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
And then, do you have any fix and flips going on right now?
Right now, I'm looking for one. Like it's like I said, it's getting, from my perspective, just harder to find one.
A little bit tighter.
Yeah, because
Yes.
it's like like we were talking earlier. It's all about the numbers. And,
Correct.
I get real excited and passionate about one, and I start looking into it, and then I work the
doesn't make sense.
numbers, and I work the numbers, and then I try to work them again, and it
You got to
just-
make sure it makes sense
right,
right now.
because at the end of the day, I don't want to be in a project that's 3 or 4 months long or more.
Of course.
And I'm only making $2,000 a month.
That's right.
For all the headache.
So
Yes.
that would be your
I mean,
advice
it's
right
still
now
a profit.
for those guys who are listening to us that are looking into buying wholesale. They want to make some quick buck. the advice is make sure you
Scrutinize
don't.
and be
Yeah,
very
yeah.
disciplined. Be
It's
very
very
disciplined.
What is it?
in the
Screw the
numbers.
quick. What you said? The quick bucks.
Right.
Yes,
Yeah,
well,
there's
we're
no
not
more
in the
quick.
appreciation
no
mode,
quick.
right? And I think when everybody thinks fix and flip, we're thinking of years back when the appreciation was just going up.
5
and
years
going
ago,
up,
4 years ago,
when you can
absolutely.
just grab the house
Yes.
and do anything
You
or
make some
nothing
money.
to it,
Exactly.
That's right.
and make some money, right?
I love
And
that.
It's
That
not.
was such a
Yeah,
good-
it's not that
yes.
anymore.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Now
not
it's
that. Correct. And so that that's good with our time. I really want to take the opportunity to thank both of you to coming over. I look forward for future interviews as well. Your guys' experience and knowledge in each sector brings a lot of value, not only to us but to the consumer out there. So I really want to thank you guys for doing what you do. Alex, thank you so much again for putting us all together, as always,
Entre
entre
amigos,
amigos.
así es. Hay que
Sintonícenos y
seguirle
con cualquier
informando a la
pregunta.
comunidad.
Exactamente. Pongan en los comentarios si tienen alguna pregunta, alguna duda o se quieren conectar con alguno de nosotros. Por favor, nomás háganos sus comentarios y mucho gusto les daremos seguimiento. ¿No? Una vez más, gracias y estamos Real Estate en positivo. Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you all for having me.